Well, I'll be on the edge of
All
my
right.
seat.
All right, friends, we are back. Charlie Collicutt there from the Guilford County Board of Elections. We were, of course, discussing all sorts of things, including all the fun things that are happening this weekend when it comes to basketball. All right, let's get back to the word at hand, and that is elections. I have someone asking this question. I live in Randolph County, and they had drive-up voting in 2020. Will they have it in 2024?
Yeah, all polling places in North Carolina, whether it's a precinct or an early voting, has something called curbside voting, where voters that due to disability cannot enter the polling place. We can handle you outside in your car. So all places will have curbside voting.
All right, but the curbside voting isn't for everybody. It is for those who
Right. It is not
specifically need it.
right. It's not for everybody. It's only people that due to disability cannot enter the polling place.
Okay. This person wants to know, where do you go to change your party?
Yeah, you've got to do a voter registration form, like I had mentioned earlier, and get it submitted by Friday the 9th, February. On a voter registration form, there's no easy online way to do it. You got to print a form out or submit a form. Actually, another good way is if you have the voter card that we've mailed you that you keep in your wallet, you can use that, fill that out, and mail that in too.
Okay, gotcha. And so when they do it online, when they do it in person and stuff like that, they can take it back to the Board of Elections. But I'm sorry if I missed it. Did you say that there was other places besides Board of Elections to bring it back?
No, it's got to be ultimately get to the Board of
Okay,
Elections. You just do the paperwork and find the paperwork other places.
gotcha. Okay. Next one. When do they send out the early voting packets? They don't really do that, do they?
No, we don't. We don't do an early voting packet, and we don't automatically mail out absentee ballots either. If that's what the thought is there. Some states do. North Carolina doesn't. You have to make a request. You can do that on paper. I mentioned an online portal. Make that request, and then we will then send you one, but it's not automatic.
Okay. This person says, what do you do if you have an absentee ballot and you want to return it in person?
Yeah, that's a great question, especially with the deadline that we have now. There's a couple different ways. One, our Board of Elections office at 301 West Market Street or 325 Russell Avenue in High Point. Those are two office locations you can do it. Another interesting way you can do it is during early voting, you can drop it off at an early voting site. You cannot drop it off at your polling place on election day. So early voting or the Board of Elections office, and that's it.
That's right. And we want to make it very clear once again, the deadline for absentee ballots, it has changed. So let's go over that one more time.
Yes, it changed. There's no postmark by election day and grace period. It's that's no longer here. That ballot has to be in the Board of Elections office, physically in there by 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday of election day.
Okay. This person wants to know, all right, so what do you do for absentee ballots? What is the process for voting concerning photo IDs?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So even absentee by mail voters are going to have to show ID, and so how is the question? They are required to to submit with their ballot in their envelope a photocopy of one of the IDs that we discussed earlier. However, for absentee by mail voters, they have an additional option of reasons why they may not be able to present one, and not being able to photocopy the ID. That's a permissible exception for providing the ID. And then there's some other identifying information, driver's license or social security number information they'll provide as well.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we talked about how you could go on the Board of Elections site and you could type in your name in voter search, right? And you could see where you're registered and that kind of stuff. So this question says, why are our political party affiliations available on websites, and can this information be kept private?
Uh, yeah, why is it there? It is public record, and and every organization, every candidate, everybody requests that. It's out there. We couldn't take that away unless there was a law change, because it is part of the public record.
Now, we want to make it really clear. They don't know it's not on there how you voted. It's just that it puts on the information is that you did vote, but not how you voted.
Right. We have information that you voted, and we know your party. Okay. And maybe I don't know if I misheard you earlier, but yeah, party is available. That you voted is available. If you participated in a party primary, that's available. But within any of that, we have no idea how you voted.
Okay, and with that in mind, let's talk about that because primaries are done differently in all different kinds of states and stuff like that. So in North Carolina, how do the primaries work when it comes to voting?
Right. With primaries, first and foremost, what your party of registration is, that's the the primary that you participate in. So if you are a registered Republican on Tuesday, for March 5th, you're only going to be able to vote for Republicans, whittling them down.
And what happens?
Democrats,
Okay, and what happens if you're unaffiliated or what some people call, independent?
yeah. Okay, so you're Republican, you vote Republican. Democrat, you vote Democrat. Libertarian, you can vote Libertarian. That's the only three this year that you can do. If you are unaffiliated, which means you didn't register with either any party, you're somewhat of a free agent. You go to the polls and you're going to pick one of the parties to participate in, not multiple, not pick and choose from each. As an unaffiliated voter, you can say, I'm going to vote in the Republican primary or the Libertarian
Mm-hmm.
primary or the Democratic primary. So you got the option.
Okay, all right. I'm glad that we made that